Hello, Jeff. Thank you very much for joining us here on the USHBA Candidate Review. It's a pleasure to have you. For those that don't know you, could you tell a little bit about yourself and how you came to the hemp space?
Absolutely. So thank you very much. It's a pleasure to be here with you today, Aiden. I'm really excited about this opportunity to work with the USHBA to can really continue my work with the USHBA. I got involved in hemp after many years in the media business, working with media outlets like National Geographic, The Village Voice, LA Weekly, Mother Jones, just learning about hemp and having moved out to Colorado in 2013. It's where everything was happening with him, and I decided to go ahead and get involved about 7 years ago. I got involved in hemp, but I got involved in hemp because of the promise that hemp provides. I think as a brand person and somebody who's worked, with so many different brands, hemp naturally was a fit for me because I was able to actually, make products in all kinds of brands and have fun with sustainability at the same time.
Absolutely, that's great to hear. I mean, it's very important that we have people that are coming from the marketing background because in order to get this out to people that aren't really familiar with hemp or aren't really already on the hemp train, they need to be sold on it somehow. And so having somebody that knows how to make a brand stand out is highly important. And so, how do you think that you will be a great board member?
So I think I'll be a great board member. First of all, I've worked with the USHBA for about the last 8 months. I've been working closely with Dawn and with others, Eric and Dion, mostly with Dawn though. Dawn is like the backbone of this organization, and I helped her work with a guy named David who's has actually done the website, and spent a lot of time working with her on mentoring her in this space a little bit. I've been on the board of directors for multiple nonprofit organizations, national level organizations. I've built a company in New York City called Media Roots, where literally all of the magazines that we represented were owned and published by nonprofit magazines. So I've interacted a ton with nonprofits and have again occupied a couple of different board positions, been very effective with it. I think that my approach to business and my approach to working on boards is to be very cooperative, to sort of begin with the end in mind. I can help shape strategic initiatives. I've written many strategic plans, lots of brand management plans. I've interacted at the C level for multiple years as an executive director of a number of different companies that people probably know, who are voting for us anyway. And so I want to do it. I think I'd be very good at it for all of my experience. I do want to mention that I have some unique experience within the green building world as well. So I worked in media for about 20 years, and then I got out of that business to get into green building. And when I got into green building, what I learned is that there were all of these sort of wonky finance options, and there was nothing that was clear for a consumer who wanted to build a green home. There was no clear finance option for them. So a team that I worked with, we all kind of invented an option, and that option later became the EnergyStar Mortgage, where we financed over $350 million of green buildings through our entire network. It's pretty amazing. So I've worked very deeply in green building. I think hemp building obviously is green building, and my relationships with groups like the U.S. Green Building Council, Eco Broker International, large numbers of lenders and banks and finance programs that eventually adopted the myEnergyLoan program. I think I've got a real opportunity to sort of help us launch into a much higher level. I think that, with an effective board, that board has been populated with people who can really, address large and like really big chunks of a market. And then also you've got people who, may not be able to bring in like these big pieces of a business, but, who everybody makes a real difference within how we can really grow an organization. I think in my particular case, I think I've got the executive executive management experience, the board experience, the connections and the work, real, demonstrable work that I've done in green building. And I think that's why I'll be an effective board member.
Absolutely, it's very good to have kind of around the board, no pun intended, kind of portfolio, right, to pull from. Yeah, as you said, you have the executive experience, you have the experience working in the green industry, which is very important because there's lots of different factors that go into that, not only into the marketing aspect, but also just all the regulations that go in place there. And then also, as we said, the advertising is very important. And so, if you were to look out for the next 5 years, where do you envision the hemp construction market being in the United States, and what do you think the road looks like to get there?
Certainly. So I think that within 5 years, we're going to see a very large number of hemp structures. I think that there are things happening, like in California, with California burning again, as much as it is. There are many options and many features and benefits of a green building. One of those things, for instance, is that it's fire resistant. I think that Dion Markgraf from the USHBA recently posted something about the importance of hempcrete building in a zone that is just going up in flames like crazy. So I think that we're going to see improvements to building structure by utilizing hemp that are going to be along the lines of safety concerns, because I think there are a lot of benefits that we get from hemp from a safety perspective. I think we're going to see an increase in structural insulated panels being adapted with hemp. So I think we're going to have hemp SIP panels that are going to hit the market. I think there's going to be a really important part of building in the future, because a modular style building with using hemp, it is really, it looks really great. It's very functional. People love it. And I think that with our ability to grow large amounts of hemp, therefore getting hemp hurd, therefore getting hempcrete, I think that we're going to also see prices fall. Right now, I think the prices are even still high for building a hempcrete structure. And, it's unfortunate, but it's really a matter of supply and demand. So I think we're going to see improvements to safety by way of hemp. I think we're going to see improvements to structural stability, utilizing hemp, and I think beyond that, we're going to bring in lots and lots of additional people. I think people are really hungry for more affordable, stronger, more durable, sustainable structures. Even more so now than in the early days of green building, the technical sort of start of green building back in the early 2000s. So I think we're going to see the market is going to be driven forward for sure. I think the hemp markets are going to be moving not away from CBD products, but we're going to be adding building and all kinds of other industrial uses over the next 4 years. And I want to mention that, I started the US Hemp Brokerage last year, and we started this company with 4 different divisions. So, our company is structured to support, not just the CBD markets at all, but, cannabinoids, materials and building materials, and then machinery and technology all kind of together. So I think with our background, with my background, my teams that I've been able to put together, that we want to be a big part of that in the future as well. And I think that the future is definitely bright. And within the next 5 years, probably, I'll go ahead and go on record and make a prediction of probably 100,000 hempcrete structures in the United States within the next 5 years. And I do think that the U.S. Hemp Building Association is going to be a huge part of that.
Great, that's wonderful to hear. Yeah, the hemp building will add to the industry versus replacing what's currently there. So it'll
Yeah, for sure. It's kind of interesting. I think anyway that a lot of people really think that hemp has to be the hero all the time, and we don't really have to drive hemp as the hero as much, because hemp already naturally is the hero. It's like it's an inherent part of green building already. It's a matter of how do we incorporate it into a really vibrant green building, marketplace. And I think that we could definitely do that for sure. But truly, hemp is one of many, great options. I just don't know of a better option than hemp as a green building material. I just think it's the best. So.
Absolutely. Well, thank you very much for joining us here on the candidate review, and I wish you the best of luck to getting elected to the board of directors. Have yourself a wonderful afternoon.
And I like that lightsaber you've got there behind you, and I'm going to have to get one of those.
Absolutely. Great talking with you, Jeff.
I think we really appreciate your assistance on this. We'll talk to you later.